In 15 weeks, our Gorilla Platoon member went from looking like this to now looking like this. And this video will inspire you to start your first body recomposition as well and completely change how you look and how you see yourself. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tom Sergi. I run the Gorilla Platoon, which is an online physique transformation where we get results like this each and every week, like the one on screen, and we just speak about them online so you can understand what we did, when, and why in order to get such a result. So let's roll straight in. We're going to be discussing setup and start point, training properly, adjustments to keep you making progress, the refeed and deload process, and the mindsets that we use to keep you on track. Probably the most important factor in order to achieve results like these ones. So without further ado, let's roll straight in to showing you how we went from looking like this to now looking like this. First thing we want to do is understand where are you at from a body composition perspective. So this is body fat and also muscle, which is also, we're going to look at body fat and scale weight. Now, initially looking at this chart, I believe it sat around about 23% body fat, and we also had his scale weight as well. So if we looked at that, we had him starting out at a scale weight of 85 kg. I thought he needed to get down to 73. We actually didn't push that low in the end. So we went from around 24 down to, well, what I would call 10% visible clean cut abs. So when we do the setup, we're then going to understand, right, where do we need to start out from? First of all, that means from a calorie perspective. What I like to do is I will find your maintenance and I'll sit you just below it. If you're sat at around anywhere from 20 all the way up, if past 25%, we're going to need to be in a bit more of an aggressive deficit. But this guy is sat around, maybe not even as harsh as 24. Maybe he was around 23, 22%. So you just sit just below maintenance at this point. Why? Well, it gets you used to eating and burning a good amount of calories. Now, when you very first start out, most people's metabolism is in the bin. They've really eaten low calorie for a long period of time, and you've got nowhere to go with it. You've used your tools and you're not responding to the deficit that you need to. Why I like to sit you just below maintenance is you're still in a deficit, but I'm also going to push your cardio up. So you'll notice here we start straight away with 20 minutes of daily cardio to get things moving, and really to give the need that you're putting energy in, but your body is burning that energy out as well. So it gets you used to eating a good amount of food. So we started him on 2,300, 10,000 steps daily and 20 minutes of formal cardio. We still saw drops like that, and in the beginning you will. If your body fat's quite high and you're in a little bit of a deficit with some output, you're going to see drop-offs. Now, I've heard people comment on the video in the past and say you need to drop around like 3,500 calories per week to drop a kilogram. That may be true. That may absolutely be true. But look, I've got 68 results where I've been able to achieve, the same caliber of style of results for people. If you look on the Instagram, you'll see each one that's been posted. And all I'm doing is reporting to you what we did. All right. So your science may absolutely work. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying this is what I did. This is the result I got. So you want to take it from me, then fine. If you don't, fine. Like, you'll notice if you've watched this channel before, which a lot of you are returning viewers, and I appreciate that. But if you're new, like, I've learned about this like at length through doing this live at a gym where they taught us everything that we needed to know. I spend my time researching this, so I synthesize what I understand. But I'll never just relay, oh, the book said this, and now do this, because like you could get that from another source. You don't need me to sit here and regurgitate what a science book says to you. I'm here to tell you, this is what the science said, this is what I did, and this is the result we got, therefore this is what you can apply into your own life. I'm here to speak about this is what I did, this is what we got. I'm not saying I'm a doctor. I'm not saying I'm like a doctor in body recomposition. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is the result I've got from helping people in real terms. So if you want to look like this is ultimately what you're going to do. So you're going to sit at that point and you will drop in the beginning, as he did here, until you don't. And when things start to slow down, then you've got options. You can either look to push the cardio, or you can look to pull the food. I am in the camp of trying to keep your food as high as you can for as long as we can. We kept him at 2-3 for a good 7 weeks before we dropped it off, really just 100 calories. What I'll then do is I'll push your cardio first. And this comes on to the point we wanted to make about adjustments when making progress. Because the main reason people will not get the result is you won't track all the data. So you need to make sure you wake up in the morning, go to the bathroom, log your scale weight, write all that down. Log how many calories you're eating on an app or however you want to do this. Log the minutes of cardio done per week. Also log your steps per week and also your sleep. Now, you're going to get 7 days worth of data tracked and recorded from that protocol. You're then going to get an outcome. Did you drop weight? If not, then look to manipulate the plan. In which case, I like to push your cardio first, increase that 20 minutes cardio daily, 30 minutes cardio daily, 40 minutes cardio daily, on top of the 10,000 steps. And that cardio is going to be something that's non-impact. Why? So it doesn't accumulate fatigue. You want to be doing things like a bike in the beginning, an incline treadmill walk. And as you get fitter and fitter and leaner and less like to you, you're going to need to use a cross trainer and a Stairmaster to get that heart rate in a space of 120 to 130. That, again, the sweet spot in order for dropping body fat. And you're going to push that up to a point of, I'd say, 40 minutes daily. After that, it then is the trade-off between, do I keep pushing my cardio, but then is that impacting my routine? If yes, then from there you can then tweak and pull from food. What I'll do is start with fats a bit higher, and then I'll look to pull at those first, just because it's a low cost of volume to be extracted out of the meal plan. So when it is, you don't notice it too much. Whereas if I start pulling your carbs quite early, you're going to feel the effects of that. When we speak about training properly, I make sure you have a plenty amount of carbs so you can train properly. Carbs are going to be your biggest reason that you drive performance in the gym. Driving performance in the gym is the biggest reason you're going to be able to build and or retain tissue during this phase. When it comes to training properly, there are 4 variables I want you to focus on. You must first focus on the arm path of the exercise. So if it's your chest, don't think about pressing the arm up and down. Think about the chest starts here, runs across, inserts here onto your upper arm. So when you press, you're going to think about driving your upper arm towards the midline of your body. That is arm path. That is how you're going to put mechanical tension on the working muscle. You're also going to think about slowing it down, time under tension. So the lowering phase of a chest press, you're going to spend 3 seconds rather than the 1 second that most people do. You're going to pause at the bottom rather than the no pause people do. You're then going to drive the load back up. You're then going to pause at the top. So while people are taking 3 seconds to do a rep, you're taking 6. So you're going to get a lot more gains than they are. Because again, a lot of growth comes from the eccentric portion of the repetitions. You want to maximize that, which a lot of people are not. So for starters, we've made you train the working muscle efficiently with the arm path. We made you slow it down, put more time and attention. We're also going to make you go as deep as you can at that joint and what it's capable of doing, not half reps. So more distance traveled with more mechanical tension. And then with those 3 in order, after 2 weeks of doing that, we're going to make sure you're training to all-out failure because you're logging and recording your load lifted, and you're going to make sure you beat what you did last time, this time that you're on the gym floor. So intensity's there. You measure intensity by making sure your last repetition is at least 3, but ideally towards 4 seconds to contract the muscle. That's how you know you're training to true failure. You train like that for a consistent period of time. When you're in a space of detraining, you're going to look like this. You're going to end up with a good level of physique. Obviously, we with our Gorilla Platoon members, they'll send us their form clips in. And to be fair, this guy did not miss a beat. This guy absolutely abused me when it came to me assessing his form clips. I'd go into his check-in on a weekly, and I'd be like, right, he's got 16 clips I've got to go through. Amazing. And when someone takes it that serious, sends me their clips, that's how we're able to develop some good quality muscle. Now, he'd probably been in either a space of detraining, not trained for a while, or just never really trained properly. So when we put those 4 variables onto his physique, no wonder it blew up quite nicely because he'd never done them before. Do something you've never done to get something you've never got. That's how his physique was able to develop so nicely. How did he get so shredded? Well, we simply just did the protocol I spoke about and kept manipulating the plan until we dropped until we hit the lowest point. I believe his lowest scale weight we ended up finishing out at was sat around 74.5. He started at 85, so he actually needed to drop 10 kg. So in reality, I probably overestimated his starting point of a body fat percentage, to be honest. And I'm a human being, sometimes I do that. So realistically, he was probably more around 20%, and then we brought him down to 10, or maybe 9, maybe sub that, and that was how we were able to get the result. So with this, you may go through your transformation, and there may come a time where you're not really dropping, your numbers in the gym aren't really progressing, and you're not really, you feel just a bit toast. At that point, you want to run a deload. That's where you're going to drop 1 set off everything, but keep your intensity high. So the quality's still there, but you're able to drop off a lot of volume, therefore remove a lot of fatigue. Another thing you may need to do is a refeed or a high day. This is where you have got so flat and depleted from being in a calorie deficit, that performance has dropped off, you feel skinny, you like your energy's like really in the bin. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your scale weight at the time minus your body fat percentage, and you times that number by 8. That 3-figure digit is what you're going to have in terms of grams of carbs. Pull your protein down by half, and that's the refeed day that you're going to do. You maybe need to do this after like week 12, and then that'll last about 2 weeks. Then you'll need to run it again if needed. But it's important that you do run those. Now, they're all the tactics that you'll need in, like if you follow that, you're going to end up looking like this guy. But the main principle I want you to focus on is actually like the man you need to become. Because we can give you the tactic. I could come through the screen right now. I could move into your house. I could cook your meals for you. I could drive you to the gym. The moment I leave, you'll fuck it up. Because you didn't transcend to the person that was capable of holding the thing long term. Like if we were to spawn your 11 out of 10 girlfriend, you would somehow find a way within a few weeks to fuck it up and she would leave. Because people want the six-pack and they want the end outcome. But it's not really about that. It's about the character of the person you are that then was able to achieve, maintain for the longest of time the six-pack. Because I want you to see yourself as an athlete, not someone that's trying to get a six-pack. If you try and get the six-pack, it'll just run away from you. Because you'll always be trying to do these little quick cheat hacks and eat this certain food and train this certain exercise. That shit doesn't work. I can tell you right now, like, the basics work. But the art of it is actually being able to stick to the basics. So how do you stick to the basics? Well, you don't see yourself as you trying to stick to the basics because you've not been able to do that before. So see yourself as the athlete version of you. See yourself as the 2.0 version of you. Because if you can see yourself as that guy, you think, if I said, right, for the next 7 days, you need to live like an athlete, you'd be like, right, cool. What he would do is he'd go to bed at this time, he'd eat this food, he'd walk like this, he'd train like this. Boom, I'll live like the athlete. It's the same way if I said live life like a fucking astronaut, you go and find a spaceship and sit in it, you'd prep all your fucking meals, and then you'd float around in space. You'd live like the astronaut to become the astronaut. You need to live like the athlete to look like the athlete. You need to do the work first, then you're going to get the outcome. And if you've done the work and became that person, you'll keep the physique forevermore. And it wasn't about getting a before and after for a picture or a fucking like holiday. It was about this being the new you. This being the best version of you that you can take forward to other areas in your life. Like, this is phase 1. This is just like step 1 of your self-improvement, getting a six-pack. Yeah, cool, nice. Let's use the man you had to become to get the six-pack to level up your career, to build something that you leave the legacy on this earth because of that man you are, to get a family you're proud of, a partner you're proud of. Like, let's use the physique. Let's not just have, like, level 1 levels of ambition here. Let's have fucking level 10 levels of ambition. Use the physique as the first vessel to develop your character. But then from there, fucking hell, the six-pack's easy to maintain. You're able to get this. Now let's level up other areas of your life and become that best version of you. So this is what we did for him. Now he looks fucking amazing. If you wanted me to do this for you, there'll be links in the description. You can come join us at the Gorilla Platoon. And if you found this video of value, great. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow.